Till launch. We are in a brief hold here, and while we're in a hold, why don't we turn it over to New Shepard and watch the rocket as she gets ready to take these 4 astronauts to space and back.
Good. Check, enable. That's what this checked off. We're not fucking this up today.
Thank you again, everybody, for joining us live from West Texas. We are here at T-minus 15 minutes to go until launch. We are in a brief hold. We've got our astronauts that are loaded into the capsule. You saw there just a moment ago, we had Oliver Damon on the left, in the left window. To the right of the hatch is our founder, Jeff Bezos. Coming around him is Mark Bezos, and on the opposite side of the capsule is Wally Funk. And again, we're just here in a brief hold, but while we have a moment, let's throw it back to the pad and catch out some of those shots of our astronauts as they get ready for their flight to space and back this morning. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us live from West Texas for New Shepard's first human flight. We are at T-minus 15 minutes. We are in a brief hold here. This is okay. I mean, to say, Gary, you can appreciate this. We spent years designing this rocket, months and months designing the mission, and if we need to take a couple of minutes more to make sure that the team is aligned, that we're all set and sorted, that our astronauts are happy, that the weather both on the ground and up aloft is within green zones, then we're going to do that. How do you guys think about holds when you're in mission control? What is happening right now?
there's really two kinds of holds. There might be a hold while they investigate an anomaly, and very often that is not the case, though. There are sometimes holds just to catch up in the timeline. The thing about New Shepard that's distinct from orbital vehicles that you might have seen is that we don't need to launch at a precise time to meet some launch window because we're trying to intercept something in space. We have a lot of time. We can take our time. It's better to pause and hold if there's any reason to, if there's a sensor reading that you want to investigate or you just want to catch up in time. So that's why we tend to take these holds. Otherwise, we bias to launching as soon as possible so we don't otherwise have a lot of buffer in the normal count.
Absolutely. So again, well, actually, now I understand. The hold is lifted.
Yeah.
So it sounds like that we have gotten the timelines all aligned, our teams are all sorted, and we are continuing our countdown. While we have a moment here, again, let's throw it back to the pad, check out our astronauts in the capsule as they get ready for their launch to space and back this morning. Everybody, we are at T-minus 14 minutes and 5 seconds to go until launch here. Got goosebumps going already. Again, the adrenaline is building and the energy is building up here as the clock ticks down. And while our astronauts and our teams are going through the final checks with our crew member 7 and the launch team, let's talk about seeing Earth from space and how it changes you. And we're very fortunate here at Blue Origin to have several NASA astronauts that are working with us, and they've logged hundreds of hours in space, and they offer a keen perspective on what our first human flight astronauts are just minutes away from experiencing.
I find it's very interesting that people can look at a picture of Earth taken by an astronaut, but they don't get that change inside that actually being there in space gives you. It is one of those things that you kind of have to do.
The perspective from space is a really fantastic one. You can see things that you never thought you'd see from Earth.
It really can't help but change your life. It changes your perspective. Having that kind of an experience makes you feel smaller.
You really do come back with a sense that the Earth is a closed environment. Everything we have here to eat, breathe, drink, it's all traveling together.
And looking at the blackness of space and looking at the surface of the Earth and seeing that almost nothing separates those two. All of humankind is on this one small rock, protected by this thin, fragile little layer of air.
It makes you realize that the planet is, in fact, a giant spaceship traveling through space that's home to 7 billion of us. And I think every astronaut who goes to space is changed by it in some way.
They've actually documented a change in core values in almost all astronauts from before the flight to after the flight. And as millions and millions of people begin to get this experience, I think the knowledge on Earth and a different understanding about our planet will gradually occur. The experience of something that changes who you are on the inside, it's very powerful. It is so memorable and so unique that people walk away speechless.
Incredible stuff. I hope one day I get to experience that, and I know obviously the 4 people that are on top of that rocket are about to do that. Gary, do you want to talk to us a little bit about today's flight profile, how they're getting up to space over the Kármán line and back home down here to West Texas?
Absolutely. So T-minus 0 is the time that we...
Actually, Gary, if you don't mind standing by, I understand that we are ready for our go, no-go poll.
No. This is the flight director. New Shepard is go for launch. Booster, commence similar count.
Wilco flight.
Controllers, drop UHF voice. Enabling onboard power.
All right, thank you everybody for joining us again. Sorry about that. So we got so caught up in the flight profile and the perspectives from our NASA astronauts. We just caught the tail end there of the go no go poll. But I'm hearing that we're looking good for flight today. So let's get back into that flight profile, Gary, that you were telling us about here. Again, how are they